Hello, I'm former President Jimmy Carter.
And I'm the ghost of former President Ronald Reagan. And welcome to another installment of the
Unofficial Former-Presidential Podcast. Today, we're going to be dispelling some rumors about ourselves by playing a little game that we like to call True or False.
That was mine.
This is a game
True or false?
True or false. This is a game in which we set the facts straight by stating things about ourselves that are either true or false.
Or false.
Or true.
Yeah.
And preceding them with the word true or false. Or false.
Depending on
true.
whether they are true or false.
For example, I was born on October 1st, 1920.
You forgot to say truth.
True. I was born on October 1st, 1924.
False. I was born October 1st, 1924.
Ron knows how to play the game.
I do.
False. I am a woman.
True. I was born February 6, 1911. Also true. I'm a former actor, having appeared in films such as Bedtime for Bonzo. There was a monkey in it.
That was a very good one. I enjoyed that one. True. I was raised on a peanut farm in Georgia, and I actually participated in the cultivation of peanuts. Fun fact.
Sounds interesting.
It's very interesting.
True. I was the president of the Screen Actors Guild for a moment in time, during which I was an FBI informant, turning in communist actors. Truth. I survived an assassination attempt in which a bullet ricocheted off of my limo and into me. It punctured my lung filled with blood, but I lived because I'm here, right? I'm here.
He's here.
I'm a ghost now, but I died of a different reason. I survived the assassination.
Natural causes.
Sort of.
False. We are communists.
We are not communists.
We are absolutely not communists.
Which is the truth.
Which is the truth. But the false is that we are communists.
But we're not.
We're the American people.
Just the two of us.
And now I will use this segue, which I conveniently found on Google Images, to segue into our next topic. Ron, can we not get through this once?
I'm sorry.
Our next topic will be about something that I started on July 3rd, 1979, and then my friend Ron here finished. Because Ron gets things done.
I do.
We're going to be talking about something that I like to call Operation Cyclone, which was then finished by Ron, but then it was called something different, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
It started with us sending weapons to Afghanistan, to the Mujahideen group, which were a group of anti-communist people who were fighting the Soviet invasion of their own country. Because at that time in Afghanistan, there was a more pro-communist president there. His name was Babrak Karmal, I believe.
love caramel.
Yeah, Ron, not the time.
Sorry.
Not the time.
I'm sorry.
And at the time, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan was the greatest threat to peace since the Second World War. So something had to be done, and therefore Operation Cyclone was created, and we sent the weapons over there.
That was then greatly expanded and vastly improved upon with my Reagan doctrine. Right. It was a program aiding anti-Soviet resistance movements abroad. My policy deployed CIA Special Activities Division. They don't plan parties. It sounds like that, but they're not. They're paramilitary.
False. They plan parties.
No, that's false.
Yeah.
The truth is they
But
don't.
we're not playing that game.
No, that's not. This is different. Okay. The CIA Special Activities Division paramilitary officers, they equipped the Mujahideen forces against the Russians, which we are not.
I see Ron's reading from his notes, because Ron isn't prepared.
I think having notes means that you are prepared.
Well,
I wouldn't want to sound like a fool, would I?
Sorry.
You know how that feels.
Go on.
Well, anyways, the key architect of my strategy was Michael G. Vickers, who worked closely with Charlie Wilson. And the strategy was to use a mixture of tactics, logistics, weapons, of course weapons, along with training programs to enhance the rebels' ability to fight a guerrilla war against the Soviets.
Your notes really up in there, aren't they, Ron?
Well, I needed them to sound. You don't want to sound.
Well, now you know Ron's side of the story. I think it's time for another segment, don't you, Ron?
I love segments.
I think we should do a little something called Questions from Fans. Do you agree?
I agree.
Alright, where did we put the questions, Ron? Our first question comes from @NutLover, who asks, how do peanuts grow?
Why would you ask that?
Now, this is obviously a question for me, the peanut expert. I can tell you that once one plants the peanut kernel in the ground, it then blossoms into a beautiful plant about 18 inches tall. Pardon me, sorry, I just burped there. It's not quite a plant, well, it is a plant. It's not quite a bush, and it's not quite a vine, but it is a beautiful peanut plant, which then grows a yellow blossom. And then as the petals fall, it reveals the peanut embryo, which then transforms into a beautiful horizontal vegetal fetus. Which
I don't think you can say fetus on the internet.
Why not?
Because it's not. It is a family program.
Fetus is a family.
It's not.
The vegetal peanut then becomes fully harvestable, and you can then eat it, and it's delicious. And you know how many kinds of peanuts there are? There's 3 kinds of peanuts. There's the Virginia peanut, there's the runner peanut, and the Spanish peanut. And every year, 2.4 billion peanuts are consumed by
Jimmy, they don't care about peanuts! This comes at us from Florida Man. And this question, you read the question.
Is it true that Operation Cyclone funded terrorist groups?
That is false.
It is completely false.
It is not true, because according to experts such as Christopher Andrew and Vasily Matrokin, I
think you pronounced that right.
Probably, there is no support in any reliable source for the claim that the CIA funded Bin Laden or any of the other volunteers who came to support the Mujahideen.
That is a lot of quotation marks.
Well, I was quoting.
Right. Yes. And I should let you know that the real problem here is not that the CIA actually helped Bin Laden or any of those terrorist groups, because we did not.
No reliable source.
We had no knowledge that this could have possibly led to the funding of Bin Laden. We had no idea that it could have happened. And that is the real problem, is a lack of knowledge, which we will fight by providing love. Our next question comes to us from @Lynn Kelly, who says, how are your wives doing?
That's sweet.
Yeah, Rosalind's doing well. She's happy. She started yoga. She's really enjoying that. She's going to Starbucks. How's your wife, Ron?
Nancy's fantastic.
Oh, no, I meant your first wife.
Why, you?
Our next question comes to us from @CuriousGeorge3. It's for Ron. It says,
it's for me.
What was it like to work with a monkey?
Oh, well, on my work in the film Bedtime for Bonzo, I worked with a monkey. It was his bedtime. It was fantastic. I mean, it was a real experience. But in all honesty, Jim's not half bad.
All right. Now that that's over, we've got another segment. Ron, would you like to introduce this one?
This is a segment called Who's More Likely? This is a segment that also involves the fans, in which you send in scenarios, and we answer on written cards who is more likely to do well or do that scenario. It makes...
I got a blue pen because I'm a Democrat.
I am a Republican, which is vastly superior. So I have a red pen. You're not.
Who's more likely to survive a zombie apocalypse? Done.
Well, that's not... Okay.
Would you like to go first or me?
I'll
go. I said Ron because he is always the first to bring out the guns, whereas I'm more an advocate for negotiation, for public diplomacy, to being nice to people instead of blowing their brains out. Right, Ron?
Well, guns can be effective. I mean, I don't think they drove the Russians out of Afghanistan by just yelling peace at them. I mean, that didn't work.
What was your answer, Ron?
My answer was me, because I'm already a ghost.
You spelled ghost wrong, Ron.
That's why I corrected it.
Our next question. Would you like to read it?
Sure. Who is more likely to defeat communism?
Well, here we go.
That's a nice question. Look who finished first that time.
Well, I'm being artistic.
Oh, okay.
You can go first.
I said me, because I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I said...
Well, I drove them out,
Right. With your Reagan doctrine, which originated from my
But I improved
Operation
upon.
Cyclone. Our next question is, who is more likely to boycott the 1980 Olympics? Ooh, Tyler. You go first.
Okay. I said Jimmy, because he is a killjoy. I love Olympics.
Well, I said any non-communist who is not the communist, because them being in Moscow in Russia, where all of the communists are from, would mean that if you go to those Olympics, you are a communist.
Well, you gave them an ultimatum. You said if you don't withdraw from Afghanistan, we won't come to your Olympics. And we didn't.
Well, they didn't.
And
so
that was
we
a
didn't
sad
go
summer.
because we're not communists.
I love
it was a happy summer because we weren't all living in a communist society, Ron.
But it was sad because we didn't see people swim fast. Who is more likely to accidentally supply bin Laden with weapons? I like this segment.
I am not sure that I ever want to make a podcast with you ever again, Ron.
Well, don't worry the fans. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
I said Ron because, as I believe, his name is on the Reagan Doctrine, so obviously it would be Ronald Reagan who did the supporting of bin Laden. I don't know, Ron.
I said this guy.
Ron, that's... which guy?
This guy. I pointed the arrows indicating.
Our next question is the last question. Thank God. Who is more likely to recover from an assassination attempt? Okay, I said Ron. But I'm not sure that he ever actually recovered completely, because even though he got shot in the lung, it seems like maybe he got a chunk taken out of his head, because he's acting pretty stupid today.
That bullet was lodged nowhere near my brain, and you know it. That is false.
Well, I'm just telling it like it is, Ron.
I said me. I did already. Come at me, bro. I'm immortal. Except for now, because I'm already dead. But you know. Details.
And with those wise words from Ronald Reagan, my good pal, my good buddy, that brings us to the end of our segment today. The end of our podcast, I believe.
So please, join us next time on the Unofficial
Former-Presidential Podcast. You should definitely click here to subscribe.
Here.
And you should like the video and comment below whether you think Ron is right or I am right about any matter ever.
Because I'm always right.
If you are not a communist, like the video, favorite the video, and may God bless America.
And me.
And Ron.